Thanks for joining us, everyone who's joining us right now. Meet Pavel. He's the CEO of VirtuDesk. You've probably seen him around, or you've probably seen me talking about VirtuDesk. This is the guy behind everything. And we currently use a lot of their virtual assistants to help us out. And the reason he's on here is because we get a lot of questions in regards to what virtual assistants can do. Not only can they run your CRM because they train them to do that, but they can also do other things. And that's kind of what I wanted to go into, Pavel, because the last time I did this, I did it with Kevin Markarian, and we kind of broke down all of the possible duties and tasks that VAs can do. And so I kind of wanted to do it with you. And it's more for you, it's kind of like an impromptu, because I'm just going to be throwing stuff up on the screen and you're going to be like, man. That looks good. Okay. Yeah. But you've been doing this for a while and you run the company. So
yeah, like a little bit, I guess.
It's not going to be a surprise. So
yeah,
the very first thing I want to start off with is I think one, this is very crucial to the world that we live in right now. And you and I have talked about this before, and that's the social media manager, right? The tasks of a social media manager. So let me share that right now.
And Tristan, we're currently, because we have the booth here at Tom Ferry Summit, and that's like number one question that people ask that come up to us. Can I do social media management? How do I get the social media? Because Tom is all about promoting people, basically preaching about social media, that agents have to be doing that. And a lot of them don't know how to do, but they want somebody to help them do that. So that's like number one thing.
Dude, and the next one I think is the immediate future. But for now, let's go off of this. So these are some of the things they can do, highlights. And dude, you guys made this for us. So you see at the very bottom, it says myvirtudesk.com, which is where you go. But let's talk about what they can do. Create an editorial calendar of content topics. I think that's the number one key here, because most agents, they don't understand what the heck to do on social media. It's like, what do I post? Where do I get the information? And I think here, Pavel, what is it that a person that we hire that specifically does social media, where do they get this information from typically?
Well, typically what they do, they browse other social media accounts. So they get an idea. They're also going to look at your competition. They're going to look at agents in other markets and see what they're doing. So find some good looking social media profiles. So if it's in a different market, you can basically, R&D that. Okay. And they can, really do some research and find out what's really trending right now, what's going to be helpful. And basically we'll create the content for you and help you to write it up as well. So
all right, so how do you guys pick the right social media manager to be able to then present them to us? Because that's always the challenge. I want to make sure that the graphics are nice, that they at least have some understanding of social media.
Well, one of the best ways to do it is to look at their prior work, what they've done. Look at their own social media profile, because if the person is doing something on social media, like for example, we've picked our TikTok girl, she's running our TikTok, and we've looked at her current TikTok, what she's doing, and we liked what we saw because she's adding, she's doing some moves, she's doing some nice music, catchy stuff, and that kind of gave us a hint that, well, she's probably could be good for the job. So that's number one, which you got to look at. Like anybody you hire for the position, either it's VA or in-house person, you got to look what they're doing on social media.
That's such a good point, dude. I'm going to just bring up TikTok. There's your TikTok.
Yeah.
That you guys started not too long ago, and you guys already have 13,500 followers, which is pretty impressive. And she's not doing bad. I like it. I know some of her videos have gone viral too.
Especially the ones where she's doing the tutorial part.
Well, look at that one, 16,000. That's pretty good.
16,000. We had something like for 50,000 there. So
62,000.
Yeah, right there. 62,000 is basically the tutorial. People like that stuff. People like to learn, and apparently those. I don't know how TikTok algorithm works. Like this was 216,000, or it's 21,000,
40,000. So The tutorials seem to be doing really well. You guys edit those too, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. She's basically she's doing it on her own. She's editing them, she's creating them, putting them
Oh,
together. Yeah,
I didn't know she was editing them, dude. That's cool.
yeah, yeah. So she's posting them. I mean, we do have a video editing team for other stuff. Like we have a YouTube channel, but Nicole, she's actually editing a lot of them herself. So
Well, Pavel, that leads me into what I think the future of VAs are going to be, right?
video editing.
And video editing.
Oh,
I
yeah,
have a
big
question.
time.
You're at the Tom Ferry Summit. There are 5,000 plus people. How many are asking for video editors right now? Not too many, or
Actually, a lot, because people come up and here's the thing: when they usually talk about social media,
Mhm.
and we start talking to them and say, "Well, what exactly about social media?" Is like, well, I don't know, maybe like putting videos out, because
Okay.
Thomas, again, he's preaching about video, and a lot
Yeah.
of his panelists are talking about video, but people in attendance, a lot of them have no idea how to get it done or how
That's
it even
true.
works. So they come up and they ask this question. So again, this is something we're doing, and the VAs that we specifically hire right now, we like hunting those down and recruiting them, the video editing people, because this is the future. You're
It
right.
is, man. I think that would be a close second for me off of social media. And
Yeah.
if I can combine one, I mean, how often, Pavel, when you get people that hire a VA, how often do they say, can we have them do social media and video editing together?
Very often, actually, very often.
Really?
And interestingly, things, Tristan, like people don't read right now. I mean, blogs are fine for the Google SEO things and everything, but people don't like to read nowadays. They like just to see the video. Same goes for the consumer. When they see an agent in the area, they just basically they go to the agent who's actually they've seen the most. So if you're promoting yourself, if you're promoting your your listings, the way you do it is basically what people are going to get drawn to.
That's true, man.
Yeah.
It's very true. I've got Adam Frank, who's always on these. What's up, Adam?
Hey.
He says lots of RE photographers and videographers hire out their editing to others. They just capture content and fire it off to editors to do the busy work.
Yep. That's
true.
what we do as well.
Yep. That's
what we do as well. We shoot the content at our office or right now at the summit. So once we shoot the content, we send it out to the video editors through Google Drive, and this person just edits everything out for us and makes it very appealing and post it to social media.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we do it.
All right. So let's pivot a little bit and go into the more traditional role of a virtual assistant, at least traditional for our world in real estate, right? And that's more of an admin or an executive admin who can also help out running a CRM. How do we have confidence in a company like yours or VirtuDesk that they're being trained in something like Chime, the CRM?
Well, we do have subject matter experts on Chime within our company who actually know the CRM and who are currently using it. Also, what we can do if you have, let's say, if you're using Chime, we can actually contact Chime on your behalf and have them uptrain your VA how to use Chime. So, if there's like anything specific you wanted to do or want them to become really expert in that, so we can schedule that training at no cost to you, and your VA will be trained on that. So
that's true, man.
We've done it with many CRMs. Yeah.
One of the other things too here that I'm going to just share my screen, and Adam knows this as he's watching. Chime on, let me make sure it's the right one. Yeah, perfect. So here's the back end of Chime, Pavel. You may see it, recognize it, but you see over here, oh, hold on. As we're scrolling through, there are other options. Let me move this over. There's a question mark over on this side, a learning center. And I know that because you guys do this for me. Here, this is my demo account, but here you can see that there's a section for learning, and it says how many how far along you've gone.
Yeah.
And so this is where the VA can go in if you want them to learn further in. and go through this and say, oh, got it. You know what? Because Pavel, you and I, we shouldn't be the ones that go and try to understand every single thing about our CRM. It's impossible to do that. And also to be trying to prospect, hold a deal together over here, continually reach out to our past clients, be on social media. It's difficult. So this
It
is
is,
why
man.
I love your company, because it allows me to be able to leverage those things out to other talented people. And in this case, with Chime, this is how we have them learn more about it. I know you guys have a training too. Can you go deeper into the training of
Yeah.
the actual VAs?
Yeah. Well, once we first hire them, we actually put them through usually a 2 weeks training course. So where they learn, a lot of real estate stuff if they don't have any prior exposure. So we make sure they're being exposed to that. We have trainers both in the United States and the Philippines who are, training the VAs on different stuff. Like in the United States, we have a TC person. She's training them daily, like every class she's teaching
Nice.
on TC. Yeah. She's basically running classes every day, and we have the modules, for the learning modules. And we also have what's called the VirtuDesk Academy, where it's sort of like an online library where VAs can actually go on their own and explore, or they want to learn a new skill or a new CRM, for example, Chime or Boomtown or Follow Up Boss, whatever. They can just go there and learn it on their own because we have uploaded training videos there. A lot of so they can learn that. If VA wants to learn a new skill, we have a tremendous library already compiled for them to do that.
Perfect. All right.
Yeah.
So let's go to some questions I have inside of the Facebook community here.
Sure.
One of them is, it says, has anyone had any luck hiring a virtual assistant to maintain Chime tasks, like setting up client searches, and also someone to help with setting up showings and all that real estate related stuff? What have you seen?
Well, we do have clients who are using Chime, and their VAs using Chime as well. So I cannot give you specific names, obviously, for obvious confidentiality reasons. But yes, we do. And once you actually hire somebody from us, we'll make sure that this person is going to be trained on Chime. Either it's going to be by our staff, or we'll coordinate it with Chime to do that kind of a training for the VA. But they can go to the learning center and learn it. So Chime, it looks like, have a very good learning center, and so it's somebody will have to just,
Well, that answered the question. All right, another one here. I'm sure there are pros out there using virtual assistants with their Chime systems. Yes, that's true here. And I just wanted to see if I could get some solutions and best practices for integrating VAs with Chime. Also well, that's part one. Any best practices? Yeah, I can answer that. And Pavel,
yeah, I figured you could.
Yeah, you can back me up on this one, but
Sure.
The best thing to do is what I showed before. You go into the back end of Chime, there's already a learning process. You could just have them watch those videos. And then the next thing would be, you go into someone like Adam, who's on here, or you go to Brett Baker, and they have also their own processes and systems. And they can even, if you want to hire them to train the VA as well, like deeper training, right? Or you get the course, like Brett Baker's course for Chime, you can have them go deep in that, because the more you invest in your VA, the better they're going to be at running Chime, right? Specifically, Chime. Anything you want to add to that?
Well, I think you pretty much covered it, man. So
cool.
Yeah.
All right. The second portion of that question, also looking for any great creative ways to use virtual assistants, ISAs with Chime without them being able to handle inbound calls efficiently. It's putting a wrench in some of my plans. I'm not sure I understand the question fully, but I can kind of answer it. In regards to an ISA for all the incoming leads for Chime, Pavel, what's your experience with ISAs in general?
Well, ISAs in general, they, those people, usually trained by our staff, and also they have prior work experience. work in a call center, so they sound, normally on the phone. They know how to communicate with public on the phone. So, and basically, you either give them scripts. We can provide scripts, or you can provide your own scripts, and we do the up training on that. But ISAs can do both for inbound and outbound. I've personally used for outbounds before. For the inbounds, this is like when the lead comes in, obviously they can just dial out and, pre-vet, the lead, make sure that this lead's going to be something remotely interesting to speak with an agent. So at that point, an agent can just take over,
All right. And I found while you were talking, I found your checklist for ISAs. So if you want this, just message me, or I'll put it up inside of the
we'll get it out
community too. But here are the tasks you can delegate for your ISAs. And this is from my friend Pavel here, who runs VirtuDesk. Here are the general tasks. So if you want them to do outbound calls based on their activity in Chime, you got it. If you want them to set appointments on incoming leads from wherever they're coming from, Google, Facebook, Realtor.com, Zillow, they can do that, right? They can nurture, and then they can do a lot of other things here. And I think if anything, Pavel, I know you agree with me on this one. This is probably there we go.
The database management. That's the biggest.
That's really the biggest. That's where
that's the gold mine, to be honest with you.
Yep, that's it. Yeah. So this is everything that an ISA can do, and more, right? But this is kind of like the highlighted version of that. Big so time. We can do that. And then here's another question or comment. Adam, what's up, Adam? He says he's trained a few assistants for other agents using Chime. So that's perfect.
That's a great resource right there.
Yeah. So go to Adam Frank. I know he's brilliant on this. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Right. You want
subject matter expert.
Dude, I get a little upset when people hire these VAs and then they just kind of say, okay, do your thing, but they don't invest any money into
you gotta like work like with anybody. If you hire people in-house, you still got to do the same thing. You got to, you got to work with them. You got to teach them how to do things. You got to onboard. And obviously there's going to be a learning curve. It's just part of the business, part of this life, I guess, Same thing, we hiring somebody who comes to work in-house, because we have a hybrid team. We have a team in the Philippines and in the United States. Anybody comes in the United States, same thing. You have to onboard them.
Yeah, I agree. I think people forget that, man. That's
they think, a lot of people think it's just a plug and play model. It's not. It's you're working with people. You don't work with technology. It's people.
That's it. Always. I agree. Well, here's the last one I want to touch on, because this one kind of engulfs everything, and we brought it up a little bit, and that's the admin. And I always push people to get an executive admin instead of just a regular admin.
Oh, I agree.
Can you tell me the difference really quick?
Well, the difference is executive admin is actually more trained and has a wide variety of tasks that this executive admin can actually perform. It includes not only just doing the admin things, but actually do some critical thinking and also getting engaged on the phone with people. So it's gonna be a little bit more expensive. But again, those executive admin is the way to go for if you're a busy professional. Then I would definitely recommend getting an executive admin.
All right, and so if I get an executive admin, how much is that going to cost me?
I think it's going to be around $12 an hour.
All right, $12 an hour.
Yeah.
And they can typically work full time, right?
Yep.
My hours.
Your hours. You're in the United States. You're in the West Coast. They're going to be on your hours. Yep.
Perfect. And then, what do you think is allowing companies that are using VAs at a high level to succeed fast and be able to scale? What do you think is the key ingredient to that when they would hire a VA?
The fastest way to scale, obviously, when they hire a VA, they need to have structure in place for their own business, how businesses run. They need to have SOP, standard operating procedures, so they know exactly where each position goes and exactly what each position is going to do, perform. You can't just simply hire a person and say, here, handle this thing for me. No, it doesn't work that way. You got to actually create some sort of a pathway for them to get where they need to be. So again, that's like standard operating procedure. That's what I'm saying. Like, for example, your VA starts working for you, something happens, life happens, VA quits, disappears, gets hit by a bus, whatever. A replacement should step in and handle your business so the business doesn't see any disruption.
All right. I love
Yeah.
that, man.
Yeah.
I think you guys are doing a great job. Obviously,
Thank you.
obviously,
Thank
I
you.
endorse you because I use you. And
Thank you for that. Yeah.
thanks for doing that. I hope
Yeah.
you guys do absolutely amazing at the Tom Ferry event. I know he's a close friend of ours here.
Yeah.
So thanks for
He's a good
jumping
dude,
on
yeah.
while you're there, man. While you're there, thanks for jumping on.
All right. Of course. All right,
Thanks,
brother.
buddy.
I'll
All
talk
right,
to you later.
everybody, go to VirtuDesk, get a VA, train them more. They already come trained, but I mean, it's something you need for your CRM.
You got to do it. Yeah.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate
All
you.
right, brother.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a good one.